Okay, hi YouTube.
Top of my head is cut off.
Who cares? It's about the content, not how you look. Better?
Yeah.
If you don't want your head cut off, sit back. Don't be like, ooh. Don't sit that far back. Hi YouTube.
Hi.
Welcome to our second Real Talk with Kris and Rebecca. Rebecca and Kris.
Rebecca and Kris.
Today we are jumping on our Instagram Live and YouTube to talk about day one of back to work in Toronto with COVID-19 as small business owners and having our teams work remotely. So here we go. I'm gonna just turn this guy on. Do you want to add something to that? Uh-oh.
No.
Okay, we'll jump up. Oh, it's like now we're really close. How'd that happen? We weren't that close before. Just sit back a little, sit back. And come closer to me, like.
The chairs are as close as they can be.
Okay.
Okay.
There?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Live. Here we go.
That's crooked.
Well, okay. Hi. Apparently it's crooked. There we
Who's
go.
there? Are you saying hi to?
I'm just saying hi because someone's gonna watch this at some point,
Oh, right.
right? Like people don't always watch it live. I feel like the window should be centered. It's Vera. She's here with us. Vera's our super duper team. I don't know what I'm saying. Can we move over?
Should you be doing this right now?
I don't know. Come over.
Man, there's these big chairs.
All right. Okay, guys, we are back. Can
Yeah.
you believe it? Oh my God. So today's Monday. It's our first day back.
Rebecca Bedford.
It's our first day back to work while our teams are working remotely. And I know so many of you, have I been drinking? I'm about to. Been drinking the Kool-Aid of doing all the things. Yep.
What are you saying? Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Guys.
Do you even know what that means, drinking the Kool-Aid?
I just know I did both kids' bedtimes
Okay,
and have been parenting for what feels like a decade. So I'm gonna have a beer. Also, someone requested that we drink, so I'm like, I'll do that.
Well,
Kris,
yeah.
say something.
I don't know. Times certainly call for alcohol.
Okay, so guys, who has a team working remotely? Who works from home today? How's it going? Anyone? No one?
I imagine most people worked from home today, I'm guessing. The streets are pretty empty, so if I just use that metric, it was...
I will say that I went to the office to pick up my desktop and a few things, and I was actually shocked by how many cars were in the parking lot and by how many cars were out and about on the street.
Our building was pretty empty.
It didn't seem that way from the outside.
The office next door was completely empty.
Oh.
People just came in to pick up laptops and things. It wasn't... People are definitely working. Those that can are working from home. And is that going to be enough to flatten the curve, as I'm sure everybody's been hearing? I don't know.
Husband work from home. Okay, so interesting. How many of you have one partner who's working from home and the other one is, or working from home or is with the kids, and the other one is out working? This is the struggle I think we're going through is, yeah, man, money. So people are still going to site. So how do you feel about going to site? And are your clients there? If you're a designer anyways, are your clients on site? Because I think that we have clients who are not living in their house, so it's fine, and we're renovating. And we have other clients who are living through it. And so I'm a little bit more trepidatious of bringing trades. And obviously I'm trying to keep my team away from other people. Gone to Florida. Clients going to Florida are the best. Oh, honey and bits. I wanted to come to Boston to visit my sister, but
There's no Boston travel currently.
actually my sister from Boston who lives there was supposed to come this weekend to visit because it's my mom's 70th birthday, and we're all, she's not coming obviously, because even though Americans are allowed in, how do we feel about that, Canadians? All the borders are closed except the Americans.
They're not going to travel. Who's going to want to come during a pandemic? There's no pandemic tourism in Toronto. It's fine.
Yeah.
It needs to calm down about the U.S. border.
So today I did something that people probably would think is crazy, but I actually went to the bank and I took cash out. And the teller looked at me like, please don't do this. We're running out of money. But I feel as though I didn't take a lot, but I took enough.
Well,
that I've got saved in a safe somewhere that I feel like is a smart thing to do to make sure that, I don't know, was that a crazy thing to do?
You don't need a lot, you need a bit of cash. So what's happening actually in the US, apparently $100 bills are running short in some states because people are withdrawing money from the bank.
Yeah, then when I said, I'd like to take some money out of this other account, which I only wanted like $100, the teller was like, I'm sorry, you already took a lot of money out of the other account. And I wanted to say like, lady, this is my money, but I didn't. I just said, okay, well, I only want $100, trying to keep things separate. And she was fine, but it kind of was like a little worrying.
What else are we supposed to do? We all need to be, yeah. This is a tough one. So like, what do you do, right? Like you have to work to make some money if you can. What do you do? I mean, ideally everybody sits at home for 45 days and we do nothing and then the virus goes away, but that's just not going to be reality. So
I know in cities like in Boston, they've closed all the restaurants and bars.
We have done that.
It's just happening now in Toronto where they're recommending that restaurants and bars close.
No recommending. In Toronto, restaurants and bars have to close by midnight or they're going to face fines.
However, are they really enforcing it? This is what I want to know.
Yeah. Health inspectors will. They're going to issue tickets. Yes.
I don't know that Canada's very good at enforcing anything. I'm just saying. I feel like our Prime Minister had his little thing today where he talked about how we're closing our borders, but I was waiting for there to be actually more, and there wasn't, which actually surprised me. I don't know if anybody else was surprised. Stephen Taylor!
Well, I think it's going to be a gradual step. So step one is close the borders. Step two is see how the public responds and close down some public spaces. And if that's still not taking effect, then systematically you have to tighten the restrictions until we're all forced to sit at home. I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to that because that's going to be a problem for business.
I feel like a lot of people are still taking this a little kind of lackadaisically, like it's not important, but I think the important thing to remember is that by all of us staying home, it's about the greater good. So there are people in our society that are more susceptible. There are children with compromised immune systems. There are people over the age of 65, which is like all of our parents and family friends who are at higher risk. And so you may not be actually showing symptoms if I'm accurate in this. You may not be showing symptoms, but that you could actually pass, or your children could pass that on to their grandparents, and then they could get sick. So, and our hospitals, unfortunately, even in Canada, are not prepared to deal with the being inundated, especially with people needing respirators. I did see something on the news today, though, about this company in Italy that was printing 3D respirators. Did you see that?
No.
That was cool. If anyone out there can print 3D stuff.
We're losing people because we're supposed to be talking about business. We're talking about the pandemic. You know, we can talk about how the pandemic affects business, but ultimately this is supposed to be about business, right? So maybe we should talk about working from home.
All right, go for it.
And tools that you can use to work from home and still connect with your clients. Zoom. I don't have any vested interest in Zoom, but we do use them at the office, and we recently switched all of our phones to Zoom, and obviously all our meetings are through Zoom. Amazing tool. You can actually go from a phone call to a meeting in real time. People can see you. It's great. I had a couple of meetings today. You know what? They weren't maybe as effective as an in-person meeting, but they were pretty damn close. So that's definitely a great tool.
Let me just add that Kris bought this thing because he likes to buy things just for the sake of buying things, and he bought this. What was it? Like this?
It's a Logitech conference cam. It's about this big. It's got a little pole with a camera on top of it, and you can kind of move the camera around.
So anyway, it's like Zoom conferencing.
It's fantastic, and
I signed
it's
up,
not
but I
very
haven't
expensive.
used it yet.
It's like $200 for this camera. You can put it on the corner of your table. It has a speaker built into it and a microphone, and you can actually have a conference.
I love that you guys made a home office to help deal with things. Well, we haven't technically finished a home office. Right now we're at our dining room table.
Our daughter is currently sleeping in what is going to be our home office.
I did go pick up a mattress today. So home office, who has a space in their home that is actually fruitful to working? I mean, we have not since our son was born. So the goal is to move Sarah into Joseph's bedroom, into a big girl's bed. We will see. With the bed that I have from when I was a little girl that's been in the shed all these years. So I picked up a memory foam mattress today at Sleep Country, and we need to do a platform, and we're going to set that up and then hopefully reclaim the nursery, oh, it's so sad, as a home office so that we have a space, because when you have kids at home, you need to have a dedicated space so that you can actually focus and work. I don't know
Yeah.
how else to work when your kids are this little.
But that being said, our office is 3 kilometers away from the house. So actually going to the office doesn't really present much of a risk because
It's not about us though.
Well, that's true.
Nobody really cares.
Nobody cares. Never mind. Well, point is, we don't actually need this home office because we have an office so close.
Okay, let's talk about what else. I listened to a really great podcast. If anyone follows EntreLeadership, they have a great podcast. And today was all about
Leadership. I have a lot to say about
in times like this, in times of slow economic growth. I don't know if you can call it growth. It's like the reverse of growth. What can you do? And talking about how this is actually a great opportunity for a business owner, because when you're really pushed up against the wall and you have to close your doors, or you have to scale back and you have to manage the money, it's when you can get the most creative. But I think that involves sitting down and being in that mindset of, okay, what can I do that is going to be completely unique? How can I offer and serve my clients or my customers or my guests that will add value in ways that I hadn't thought of before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a really great reminder for me, not that I know what I'm going to do, but it was really interesting to hear that perspective. And I think it can be so scary. Honestly, today, the podcast was, someone asked what was the name of the podcast. It's called EntreLeadership, E-N...
Probably like entrepreneur.
Yeah, like entrepreneur, like E-N-T-R-E, entre leadership, if you can speak French. It's a really great one, but it was really interesting perspective, actually, to think about things in a different light. Because I know for me today, I don't get that much anxiety. Every once in a while, is anybody else feeling like the fear mongering and the anxiety? And today I was at the office and my heart was racing and I just felt like out of control. And the only thing that helped is I came home and I actually went for a run. And I'm not a runner. I jogged. Let's be honest, I wasn't running.
Very light jog. Exercise is very good. It's very good for
really
stress
helps.
management. It gets a lot of the nasties out when you sweat a bit, so it's good. But I want to go back to a couple of things you said. Number one,
I'm gonna have a beer while you do that.
You talked about leadership, and we're going to go back to the leadership thing because I'm going to get a little political on the leadership front. But and obviously leadership is super important in business, and anybody here that's trying to run their own business understands or is beginning to understand the importance of leadership. It's something I didn't really pay a lot of attention to. But anyway, leadership, crucial. Let's go back to the other thing. So obviously times
What
are
did you
changing.
just say about leadership? You didn't say anything.
Well, because it's political. It's very important, but we're going to go back to it.
They talked about this in this EntreLeadership podcast. Sorry to interrupt, but you didn't really finish that sentiment, and I feel like it's important to understand that as a leader...
Yes, Jen, we're live.
You have a duty. Oh, our wild friend Jen is watching. Watch out, guys.
Now, yes, crazy. Now. You're watching it live.
She doesn't understand.
That little orange or that pink thing that says live.
But being a leader, if you run an organization or if you have a group of people underneath you, it is your responsibility as that leader to act in a way that is going to inspire and not scare people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like today my conversation with Alyssa, I was like, girl, get ready because shit's gonna hit the fan. Maybe not the way to go about it. But I think that that's something to remember as a leader. We can get caught up and we forget that the people who are on our team are looking up to us for guidance and advice and to keep us propelled moving forward, right?
Yep, for sure. And sometimes you got to give them a little swift kick in the butt and let them know what's going on. Other times you got to be there to kind of support them and everything else. But anyway, going back to what you said,
Jen is so funny.
I want to touch on the fact that obviously, especially in the interior design profession, things are going to get a little bit interesting in terms of how you can offer your services. And I think last time we touched on, e-design, all the rest of that kind of stuff. But another thing that you can do, and in fact anyone can do, is Shopify is a fantastic platform. You can literally put up an e-commerce store in one afternoon, and you can sell your goods.
It's also Canadian.
Yeah, you can sell your goods through that store. Again, I have no vested interest in Shopify. But you could sell your goods in 24 hours, and they will take care of payment processing. They will take care of, integrating into Canada Post shipping. All that stuff's already built in, so you don't have to worry about it. You just basically take orders and you ship them out. It'll even print a shipping label for you. It's good stuff.
However, you do have to find a way to package those goods yourself.
Yeah. obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
But the fact that you can go from zero to e-commerce hero, kind of, in 12 hours is pretty impressive.
Did you say e-commerce hero?
Yeah. Zero, anything that rhymes with zero.
Marketing man, e-commerce hero. I love it.
In fact, we are at the office. We're sitting there today with the rest of my team. And like, okay, well, we lost a couple deals, or we didn't lose them. They were paused, obviously, due to the current climate. You can't launch products during a pandemic, apparently, which makes a lot of sense.
Why? Who did that? Someone do that and it failed? Don't have to say.
No. They stopped. They're not launching the product in lieu of the pandemic.
That's what I said in the last live. Like, don't focus on your new endeavors. Focus on the ones that you already have that are successful. No.
So we sat there with the team and like, what can we do? Like, how can we help? There's going to be so many people that are going to need some sort of an e-commerce platform because really everything is going to move to e-commerce. Like. Or online sales of some kind, because if we are on lockdown,
hi to Gavin. Sorry,
hey Gavin, if we are on lockdown for any period of time, the only way you can sell your services or your product is going to be through online. So we're like, well, what can we do? Like, what can we offer? Can we offer super discounted Shopify websites? And we don't even really do that stuff because we kind of do all custom. Anyway, that's kind of what we landed on. We thought,
again, not
Shopify.
About you, about the people listening.
Shopify. I'm saying Shopify. Anybody can go. They can set up a website. There's so many tutorials. You can do it yourself, honestly, in one afternoon. If you have
if you
some computer savviness.
Okay, but if you don't have Shopify, if you're like a designer like myself and you wanted to do e-commerce in the sense of e-design or something like that, you can probably do that through Squarespace. Or that's who I have for my website, or
Squarespace, WordPress, you can get a WordPress plugin, you get WooCommerce for free.
Like no different than the way that you sell a consultation. Another really great app that we have been using is called Dubsado. Dubsado is really great for things like this, like packages. You can send them to clients, they can approve them. You can have options. Dubsado. It's pretty cool. We've been using it for, I don't know, like a year now. That's good.
Yeah.
What else? I feel like we had so many things to talk about.
No, we talked about opportunity, right? Like, so in all of these sort of extraneous circumstances comes new opportunities that people never had or never thought of before. So looking for those continually rather than kind of being down on yourself and thinking, oh man, this is not good, is super important during these times because that's where you're going to find something.
Hard to sell and ship a custom 14-foot dining table. I mean, who has a house to fit a 14-foot dining table? I mean, that's awesome. If those are your clients, you just take care of those clients.
Although
that's amazing.
I mean,
however, somebody wants that.
It's doable.
Gina.
I wouldn't say it's not doable. I wouldn't say it's not doable.
I would say that, do your research. Look into if you want to sell goods online, like make sure you know who your target audience is, who your clientele are.
But hold on a sec. Going back to that, maybe adjust. Because I imagine a 14-foot custom dining room table is something that's probably on the higher end spectrum of things. So maybe look at doing things that are more affordable, but in a greater volume. And if you can execute on that, then you won't sell as many single big ticket items. You're going to work a little bit harder to sell the smaller ticket ones at volume, but targeting. At least you'll keep the money going, right?
But it comes back to what Kris talked about at our designer meetup. Sorry, the name of the podcast I mentioned earlier is EntreLeadership. But someone asked that. But Kris was talking about targeting. So targeting your ads on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. If you know who your specific niche is, who your clientele is, and they are people who have homes of a certain size and they live in certain neighborhoods and they have a certain income and they love 14-foot like live edge dining tables, then you can tailor your marketing and do paid advertising directly to them through, what was that thing called? Facebook Ads Manager?
Business Manager. Facebook ads, through the Facebook ads platform.
Or Business Manager, yeah.
Well, it's called Facebook Business Manager, but that's, anyway, through Facebook ads, through that platform.
Do you guys know what Facebook ads is? Because I didn't know about it until Kris talked about it the other day, and I'm still not using it.
That's their advertising product.
I know, but it's kind of complicated. I feel like we could talk about that.
It's really simple. You build an ad, you create an audience, and you target that ad to that audience.
Oh, it's so simple. It's so simple.
In a nutshell. Like 8 buttons.
There's my ad.
8 buttons. 8 buttons. But you gotta have creative.
It's like rainy money.
Oh,
wait, I did it wrong.
I don't know. Oh my god. Drink the Kool-Aid, rain the money. Yeah, it's called Make It Rain. That's what you do. Yeah. Or you could rain the money.
Whatever. Okay, so anybody else, I would love for you guys to join the conversation. So this is really about learning how everybody else is dealing with it. Today was very stressful. It's only day one. Canada's now closed its borders, whatever that means. Restaurants are closing. People are working from home. A lot of retailers now no longer have clients. I know I'm feeling that because we have awesome clients and we're in the middle of projects, but anything new is not, it's just not coming through the pipeline. Like, I'm going to be honest, like, full disclosure, it's not. I mean, I get it. Who is going to pull the trigger on spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home renovation when the stock market is crashing every day and likely their money is tied to that? Like, it's freaking scary.
But I mean, we were also going to do a renovation, and now that's kind of been put on hold
We're
as a
also
result
doing
of
a
this
renovation.
too, so, you know.
I mean, who does that
We
in
get
an
it.
economic downturn?
Yeah.
No, we're not that stupid. So, selling bulk, I could see being difficult as most people only want to pay for IKEA. Custom is becoming more difficult to sell, at least in the kitchen industry. I mean, yes and no. Custom, I think it depends on your client, right? It's all about having the right client. So if your clients
Oh yeah, Ed, I told you
balk
everything would be
at
closed. Well, not everything
kitchen.
is closed. I think, oh yeah, Ed told us that there'd be,
Ed.
yeah.
Yep, it's closing.
It's
You're
closing.
right, Ed.
It's going on that
Heard it
trend.
here first.
Yeah.
No, but back to the custom. I think that if you are trying to sell a custom sofa or a custom coffee table or a custom dining table, it comes down to having the right client. So some people do not value that and know they will not pay. They will go to IKEA. But I know a lot of clients who do not want IKEA because they want the customization. They want it to be specific to their needs. And I think it's about marketing yourself as somebody who does mostly that and turning away. I know right now it's not the time to turn people away, but turning away the clients that do not see the value. But perhaps at a time like this is when you take on the jobs that you wouldn't normally take.
Yes. Right now is not the time to be selective with clientele. Right now you take everything. You take everything.
Cash, what is it? Cash is king? Yeah.
Yeah, cash flow is king, but yeah.
Cash is king.
Cash is king, but generally you talk about in flow, like as in cash flow is king.
I
As in that's
think that makes sense. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Or it could be queen too. It's fine.
Anyways, I feel like today was really more about, I mean, a lot of people were DMing me today and messaging in like WhatsApp groups that I have about how's it going? Like, how's your business? Like, my business is struggling. My new leads have dried up. I'm just curious if other people are feeling that, or is everyone like, whatever, it's super chill. It's a great vacation and be with my family. I don't know.
That'd be fun.
What would be fun? To be super chill?
Yeah. Well, a great vacation with your family. Like, I'd love to know what that feels like.
Not chill.
I'm
Never
not
been
chill.
chill?
I'm not.
Opposite.
It sounds nice.
Opposite of chill.
It sounds
Yep.
nice.
Opposite. Do you buy stock, and would you consider buying now when it's low?
No, and I wouldn't buy now because everything's going to be at 50% off by the time this is all said and done. And we're only at 30% off.
Chris does have a theory that right now is a really great time to borrow money. So if you have the ability to borrow money against your house, against your business, to borrow money now, don't use it, but you have it accessible so that when it's time, I don't know who decides when it's time, you can buy either stock, property, invest in something at a really good deal. Like if you look back to the 2008 economic crisis, that's when a lot of people really were smart and invested and got super rich.
What's every 10 years? So this is a simple analogy. If the Apple stores were actually open, which they're going to be closing, or they may already be closed, if I told you that today you could go into an Apple store and everything is 50% off, how many people would go and buy stuff, right? Like a lot. But the stock market is going to be very similar. So essentially everything is going to be 50, maybe even 60% off when this is all said and done. To purchase at that point would make a tremendous amount of sense. So if you can carry the cost of that money for a period of time that you borrowed to purchase said stock, then you can do really well.
Yeah, Nikki says, I'm feeling that the well is drying up. not chill. I totally get you. Totally.
Yeah.
I've just tried to, let my team know that this is going to be a slow time.
Can't borrow money from a bank right now. I don't know about that. Banks are going to be...
And it will pick up. It will come back. It's
banks
just
are going to be
weathering it.
forced to loan money.
You
can't. Well, you can't. No,
you can
hold
borrow
on.
money right now.
You can't borrow money unless you secure it. You need to secure the money with something.
Well,
then
money's never
they'll
free.
happily give you money. Unsecured is probably not. Gonna
Also,
happen.
there are. It's the what is it? The business. What is it called?
What?
Business Development Bank of Canada or something like that. The what is it called?
BDO.
BDO. Business.
BDO. Yeah. It is BDO.
I feel like somebody's going to know about this. They're offering loans to small business up from $50,000 to $100,000 as part of a stimulus package. So if anyone is a small business, you should definitely look into that. Temporary layoffs. Yeah, I know. I don't even know how that works, guys. What does that mean? I'm going to be super honest right now. When you lay somebody off, does that mean they still get paid? Because if they do,
No.
then why would they be laid off? They would just keep working.
No, they don't get paid.
They just get paid, but they get paid less?
No, they don't get paid. There's
They
two
get
types of
EI.
layoffs. There's a layoff, which is a permanent layoff, i.e., we're a Chrysler plant and we're laying everybody off because we have no money, but that's kind of like a termination. And there's like a temporary layoff, which I forget what the legal span on that is.
Thank you, Carly. They can get paid from EI. See? They get paid.
Yeah.
But isn't that the same thing as if you're fired? I never worked in corporate, guys. This is all new to me. I've always been a solopreneur.
I think the difference is severance. You're not really paying any severance, as if when you go to terminate someone, they are owed severance. So a temporary layoff, that severance doesn't come unless it becomes permanent. I believe. I mean,
Guys,
I'm not a labor lawyer.
So much to learn. So much to learn. So I think what's going to happen. So here's my prediction, based on what he's fed me, the information he's fed me. So what do I know? Is that probably within a week, everything's going to kind of shut right down. And schools are probably not going to go back until June. That's what you said. You said June.
I don't think schools are going
Canada's
back.
going to get ahead of this
Schools
thing.
are not going back.
If you're fired, you don't qualify for EI. Got it. Okay, cool. I do know that the Ontario government, thank you, Nikki,
No,
just made
it's only if you're
changes.
fired. No, that's not true.
But that's where people...
No, if you're fired, you qualify for EI. Yeah, if you're terminated without cause, you can be fired for. You'll be qualified for EI.
Some people have messaged me and said that their employer is actually mandating them to go to work and has threatened their job or their pay if they do not go into work currently, like right now, which to me is fucking bonkers ludicrous. Pardon my French.
The language.
I'm sorry, but sometimes things just get me so fired up. Because that just seems like a basic,
Human right?
yes, what's the thing when you're going against a human right?
Violation?
Thank you, a violation of a human right. Guys, I'm sorry.
I'm ESL, by the way. She's not.
Okay,
I'm
screw
saying.
you.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, but seriously, I think that that's ridiculous. And so the government has put into place now that you do not need a doctor's note in order to call in sick to work and get paid. So hopefully that actually applies. Sometimes they make laws up here, but then in actual when you go to apply them, it doesn't work.
Any thoughts on what drives the economy into recession? Pandemics drive the economy into recession.
Pandemics, apparently. It's not funny, actually. No. We are really just hoping here that we can all be super smart and safe, and so that nobody ends up in the hospital that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
And so if we can stay back from the hospitals with this, then the people who really need the care will get it. Because there are other people with other ailments and diseases and tragedies happening on a daily basis that is not related to COVID-19. And if they can't get the help they need in the hospital because all of the people are flooding with COVID, then we have a major crisis on our hands.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole idea of this flattening the curve, right? So that we can kind of spread this out over a term where we don't go above that line. So imagine like a hill, and you've got your line of healthcare. You don't want that peak to go above that line.
Yeah, flatten the curve. Everyone knows flatten the curve.
Right.
Okay, we got like a few minutes left.
Oh, leadership. I want to talk about leadership for a second, especially as applies to politics. I'm not going to get political because this isn't about parties, but I implore everybody that the next time they vote for a leader of a country,
Not political at all.
well, I think that they should look at, is that person capable of actually, like, are they a good leader? Like, never mind the party. And to be quite frank, I don't think we really had any kind of, supremely good leaders in this last election. But, yeah, look to see. Like, you might be a liberal, you might be conservative, whatever. You want to hold your party lines. But, like, if that person isn't qualified to lead, especially when times get difficult, that's not the person that you want.
Okay.
That's all.
And today's political message is brought to you by
Me. Yeah. It's the end off.
the end off. Send
It's
off.
called a send off.
So it keeps cutting us off. It's like we're talking for too long.
Clearly.
Okay. Anyhow,
Once again, we got cut off.
Once again, we are talking too much, as we were once told years ago before we were even married that we talk a lot as a couple. I was offended at the time, but I'm over it now.
In case anyone's curious, it was your sister's friend. I'm not going to say who, but mystery.
It doesn't matter who it was. Doesn't really matter, does it? Nope. All right. That's basically it. That's our convo. Sorry I got cut off.
Got totally cut off.
We'll work on that.
And it wasn't as energetic as last time. We'll work on that too. And also, we'll have an agenda.
Girl,
next
stop
time.
apologizing. Sorry,
Apologizing.
not sorry.
I am sorry. She's more organized normally, and it didn't really work out.
If you guys are struggling running your small business during this entire outbreak and you don't know what to do, send us a message, leave a comment below, let us know. We're super curious what other small business owners are doing. We are trying to navigate this ourselves. We each have a team of 5, and we're not entirely sure how to navigate the next few weeks. Right now we're working from home, as you can see, with our respective employees, but certain things can't get done as a result. So I'd be super curious to hear, what are you doing? And what are the challenges you're facing? And we will be back. We will do this again. Thank you for joining in to our Real Talk.
Bye.
You made that up. I didn't make that up.
Whatever. Bye.
Okay, bye.